We opened our Etsy shop on October 1st of 2022. We have over 300 sales and have made $10,000 in revenue, doubling our first year goal of $5,000 in about 6 months. Before we get into it, I just want to say that there will be something in this video that you will be able to do today if you have the goal of opening up an Etsy shop of your own. So whether your business is just an idea or something that's actually in the works currently, stay tuned. There might be something in here that's helpful for you. Okay, so the first bit of advice I have is to immediately secure your relevant social media, email, and web domain usernames that you possibly can. If you've already come up with the name for your business, this is probably the very first thing that you're going to want to do. You want to make sure that you have a cohesive username across the entire internet. I recommend opening up a few tabs on your computer and registering for all of the usernames that you're going to need at the same exact time, because there might be that chance where if your username works on Instagram but doesn't work on Twitter, you're going to want to find out before you actually hit submit on any of it. This next bit of information I'm going to give now is going to be found across all of the Etsy videos on YouTube, and that is to do your market research. This is the most important thing that you can do for your shop before you get going. This is when you're going to be finding out what products they're selling, how many they're selling, what kind of reviews they have, what their turnaround time is, look at their shipping policies, all of this sort of thing. You're going to need to see if there actually is a demand for the products that you want to sell. During the market research part of this phase is when you're going to be narrowing down that niche. Now you want to narrow it down and have that niche settled, but you don't want to go too narrow. You don't want to be somebody that makes light switch covers that are made out of cement for Dalmatian owners. That's a little too narrow. You're maybe going to get 14 sales before you have to close up shop. So maybe open it up to cement light switch covers for dog owners instead. If you're unsure what your niche is exactly at this point, it's okay. That's what the market research thing is all about. Something I like to do to this day, even after already opening my shop, is I still do market research. If there's a shop that I want to learn from or take a chance at learning from, I will go to the oldest review on that page. That will give you a time frame of when they actually started getting products into people's hands, and then go from there. And you can actually read these reviews and see what the public is saying about the shop, their hands-on experience. I cannot stress enough the importance of just going out and reading shop reviews. All right, so the next thing I got for you is to actually come up with 30 different listings for your shop. You have to imagine your Etsy shop as a physical location with walls and shelves and products on those shelves. Imagine you walk into a store that's only selling 1 or 2 things. You're probably going to turn around and leave. This is pretty much what's going to happen if your customer comes across your Etsy shop and you are only selling even 5 or 6 different things. There's not going to be enough to actually grab them and catch their attention. With an online business, you want to give them an immediate hit of satisfaction. And unfortunately in our society, people do get that dopamine release by scrolling, that ability to scroll on a phone. You want to have enough products that it requires the use of scrolling or clicking next page. Something that we did when we opened up our shop is we actually obtained a wholesale license that's separate from the standard business license that you get. Now this allowed us to actually purchase a lot of our material in bulk. We were given a unique tax ID that we in turn gave to certain retailers and said, hey, can we purchase from you? And we were able to buy material at a much lower price in larger quantities. And this is kind of like an under the table tip. If you are somebody that's crafting and want to start a shop based off of a craft you have, which I'm assuming is like 99% of Etsy, you can actually resell crafting supplies on Etsy, the same ones that you use to craft whatever it is that you're trying to sell. So for us, for Darling Rosary, we actually purchase centers and crucifixes for our rosaries at bulk, and we can actually sell those as separate listings on Etsy already. This is product that we have that's otherwise just sitting in a bin waiting to get sold into a rosary. This way, we have a lot of different listings happening at the same time. A sense of scrolling happened a lot faster for us. It earns us money without even having to put any labor into it. Again, this only works for products that is used as a material or component for crafting a different object. You can't just buy a big box of baseball hats and then resell them on Etsy immediately. That's not how Etsy works. They will find out and they will shut your shop down and your business will die. So be careful. This obviously won't work for everyone, but if you can find a way to actually resell some of the supplies you use to make your products, I do recommend it. The next thing I have for you is to open a separate bank account. Your shop is not an extension of yourself. It is its own person. And just like a parent with a child, the parent is in control of any money the child may have, but it is still the child's money, unique to that kid. Your shop is no different. If you're starting a shop with the sole intention of earning money, you're going to be disappointed. Any extra money that your shop may earn once it is able to start paying for itself, I highly recommend that you use it to further expand your business, expand the scope of what you can do. A bank we really like to use is Novo. They have a free business bank account. This isn't sponsored by Novo or anything. We've got 33 subscribers, so you know it's honest. We really like Novo. It's a very good bank account that integrates seamlessly with Etsy. That's who we've been with ever since we started. They have this really awesome feature where you can actually take any deposits that you get from Etsy and have it immediately get filtered into different accounts. They're an online credit union. We prefer credit unions more than banks. I recommend Novo. The next one I got is send out trial products to your friends and loved ones. Now this is probably one of the most exciting or fun ones that you can do because this is proof of that thing that you've been obsessing with and your friends and family know you've been really wanting to do. Now you get to actually kind of show them what you're capable of, and it's a lot of fun. But what I really want to emphasize isn't giving them a product, it is sending them a product. It is wrapping it up in that package with the tape and the box and all the things. Very first thing that they are going to experience when it comes to your business is the box it comes in. So use this opportunity to blow them away. You want to make every single box feel like the customer is opening up a present to themselves. Because they're seeing your product online, they're seeing the listing photos. They're okay with what they see on the listing photos enough to buy it. You have that chance to blow them away even further by having stellar presentation. All right, now the last one I got for you is let your items sell out. Starting out your shop, it can be tempting to list as many as you can possibly make all at once, but you don't want to do that. So if you actually can make 25 handmade coffee cups, only list 5 of them. Whenever you sell out of an item, you get to update the quantity available on that item and relist it. This act of relisting counts the same way as listing a new item does on Etsy. Whenever you relist an item on Etsy, it's the same as listing an item or getting a review or making a sale, except you are actually in control of it. And all of these things are actually used by Etsy's algorithm to decide to push your shop or keep it where it's at. So going back to what I was mentioning earlier about ordering material in bulk quantities, we actually use those primarily as agents of relisting on Etsy. They sell fairly well and they are very easily relisted. We typically purchase crucifixes and centers for our rosaries in the dozens, if not hundreds, but we only list 5 or 6 available at a time. That's always going to give us an opportunity to relist something and then stimulate that algorithm again and keep that thing churning. Because when you're not relisting or making sales or getting reviews or anything, Etsy's pretty much going to think you're a dead shop. So always have something that you can relist. Keep those quantities low so that you can relist things as often as possible. So that does it for some of the essential tips before opening up your Etsy shop. There's a lot more that I wish I could have covered, but I understand if you're like me, you probably have 1,000 other different videos that you're wanting to watch at this time. And just to point out, yes, I'm aware that the lighting and things might look a little bit different, and that's because it's actually editing day. And I realized that my camera stopped recording, and so I have to kind of retake this outro a bit here, so forgive me for that. It's a work in progress. If you thought that this video was helpful, please consider hitting the thumbs up and subscribe button. If you'd like to see some more about what we do here at Darling Rosary. My wife Kimberly also does studio vlogs, so if you're into that sort of thing, of seeing what a day in the life is like of somebody who stays at home full-time working on the shop, I'll put a link in the description below for that so you can check that out as well. Until next time, thank you so much for watching. God bless.